Hello everyone! Over the weekend, my family was able to get together and we played this, One Night Werewolf. And this was the first time that I had ever played One Night Werewolf, even though I've had it over here on my shelf for a while, and I wanted to provide a little bit of a review of it for you because I really had a great time. Now this is one of the games, the reason that I had it on my shelf is because it's one of the games that we think would be really great for dinner and a board game. And if you're not familiar with Dinner and a Board Game, Dinner and a Board Game is my show about playing tabletop games and cooking dinner in the kitchen over here that is out on my channel. So check out Dinner and a Board Game here on my channel. We did one season and a pilot for the second season, and we really think that this would be a great game to play with it, and I agree. I had known about people playing Werewolf at Gen Con when I was at Gen Con, but for some reason I thought that it was very different from what it actually is. For some reason I had in my mind that like Werewolf was some type of live action role-playing game where people went around the city, trying to kill each other, and they were divided into humans and werewolves. And I think that's a different game. I think that is a real game because I had people who played it in high school. I never played it, but that had something to do with werewolves. But that's not this game. This game is a social deduction game, and it's really simple, and it's really great and easy for a party. And it's really quick too. That was really something that I enjoyed about it because we were able to play multiple rounds, even though we had multiple people. And of course I like games that have large player counts because I've got a large extended family when everybody gets together. So in this game, basically everybody is assigned a different role. Some people are the werewolf, this will be determined randomly, and other people are villagers in the village. And then basically everybody's going to close their eyes, and then depending on who you are in the game, you're going to do something, like swap somebody's cards around, or swap your card for one in the middle, or something like that. Everybody's going to do all this stuff, then everybody's going to open their eyes, and then all of the players have got to decide who to kill. They're going to kill one player at the end of the game, and if that player is a villager, then the villagers lose. They misidentified the werewolf, killed a villager, the villagers lose. If the werewolf is killed, then the villagers win, right? So the werewolf has got to push the suspicion off on somebody else, and the villagers have got to figure out who is the werewolf. So I didn't actually know what I was doing very much in the beginning because kind of like when I was playing Secret Hitler, the first time that I played, I kind of thought I was supposed to keep information to myself. Like, oh, I've got some information here. I'd better try to keep it to myself and deduce, who was the werewolf or who was a villager or something like that. But actually, it's much better to discuss things, to get that information out, and then to make accusations potentially if you are the werewolf and try to muddle things up. That was one thing that I didn't understand about the werewolf in the beginning. In all of the games that we played, and it seemed like I was often the werewolf was just was only one player, although there could potentially be two werewolves. But if there's one werewolf, then you're able to look at one of the center cards that is not in play among the players, so you can determine some type of role, one of the role cards that the players don't have. And now, looking back on that after having played it and then been thinking about it for a few days, so if you're the werewolf, you're going to have to construct some type of story about what you did, because obviously if you reveal you did the werewolf things, you're obviously the werewolf. So you've got to construct some kind of confusing story, or some kind of story that's going to confuse the narrative among the other players. And knowing if there's only one werewolf, knowing what's in the center of the table, is probably what's supposed to give you the ability to construct that kind of narrative. And I didn't think about that in the moment while we were playing, but I think that's the way that it's supposed to go. Because the werewolf does act first when everybody's eyes are closed. So you have some time while you're sitting there while everybody else's eyes are closed and everybody else is doing something else. That's when you're supposed to be developing your story, getting your story straight in your head and thinking of something. And I did that in later rounds, and I was thinking, all right, I'm going to say that I'm the, I think it was the robber and I took the drunk. That's what I was saying. And then somebody else got talking in the beginning and said, well, I was the robber and I took the drunk. And of course, they were right. I was going to try to use that. And so I was like, well, no, wait, I should have thought of something else. But in my head, that's what I was going with. And so that's what I said. And of course, I screwed up and I was found out that I was the werewolf. So there's an app with this game that allows the game to be played by everyone at the table. Otherwise, you need some type of game master to run the game, because while everybody's eyes are closed, you have to have somebody to say, okay, if you are the seer, or you are the drunk, or you are the troublemaker or whatever it is. It's your turn to open your eyes and execute your function and then close your eyes again. Obviously, everybody can't be doing that, but they can if you've got an app like they do have to actually run the game for you. Now, thinking about that from the perspective of trying to construct your narrative, there is a time limit on how much time all of the players have to talk and try to discuss among themselves. And we said 5 minutes. I think we had 6 players, maybe 5 players, 5 or 6 players. In retrospect, that may be a lot, because there's a lot you can figure out in that amount of time. I had seen elsewhere on the internet that where there was discussion about different social deduction games, and one of them was saying that Secret Hitler is really good because it's not actually solvable. And I think that's important, because at some point you've got to be able to trust somebody, or just make a leap of faith in that game, because you can't actually figure it out. I'm thinking about that in relation to One Night Werewolf, and you might be able to figure out One Night Werewolf. As I'm the werewolf listening to everybody else talk about what they did, I think it should be possible for all of the players to construct what happened. So it's really on you to throw this monkey wrench in their narrative that they are constructing. So that's very different. And hey, by the way, if you want to participate in the playtest of a social deduction game, I have the open playtest for Ritual going on. I'll put the link down below if you want to request to be part of the Ritual playtest. I've got 600 people who are already involved in the Ritual playtest. And so it's a social deduction game of Cthulhu cultists, because it is the game based on The Cultists, which is the web show that I've done here on this channel, which is about modern-day Cthulhu cultists trying to make it in modern-day Alabama. We want to be able to shoot. Season 1 is on the YouTube channel right now. We want to be able to put out Season 2 and shoot Season 3, and we're thinking about doing that by releasing this social deduction game called Ritual on GameFound. So if you want to get in on that early and check out the playtest and be part of it, I would love to have you. So in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and all of that jazz, but please also do check out my YouTube channel. I've got about 150 different YouTube videos on tabletop and fantasy, including the Cultists web show you may want to check out, so you may enjoy all of those videos as well. I look forward to seeing you in many more to come. Later!